He not only kept a mistress and had a child with her, but also wanted to use my family's shares for the illegitimate son. So I booted him out penniless and fired him from the company. I went to attend a parent-teacher meeting for my best friend's daughter and saw my husband, who had sworn to never have kids, sitting with his secretary and the illegitimate son, playing the role of perfect parents. The absurd part was that this secretary was someone I paid for her tuition and personally mentored, yet she turned out to be a backstabber. They had been secretly together for a long time, and now they wanted to use my family's shares to reward their illegitimate son. 10 years of marriage was all a lie, and I will make them pay for it. I was at my best friend's daughter's parent-teacher meeting when I saw my husband, who had promised to be child-free, sitting with the secretary. I stared at him in disbelief. William Grant, you're not going to explain this to me? But William Grant lowered his voice and asked me not to make a scene. I made a mistake, but it has nothing to do with the kid. When we get home, you can scold me all you want. He moved to the front, sitting with the kid. He even went up to the stage as the representative parent. Meanwhile, I sat in a daze for 2 hours. When the meeting ended, I saw the secretary rushing over. She kissed him on the cheek, smiling. Thanks for fulfilling our son's birthday wish by coming to the parent meeting. I love you. William Grant awkwardly pushed her away. Not in front of others, please. The secretary finally seemed to realize others were watching and blushed. I'm just so happy. Our son got first place in the grade again. Remember you promised me last time to give him 5% of the shares as a reward. I was struck dumb, standing there frozen. The company was something William Grant and I built together, and the largest shareholder was my father. But to protect William Grant's image, I had always kept this from him. I never expected he would use our shared company shares to reward his illegitimate son. William Grant, noticing my silence, looked more anxious, afraid that I would make a scene and affect the child. He grabbed the secretary's hand and tried to leave. Enough. Let's talk outside. But the secretary pouted and refused to leave. You want to back out? I've already brought the share transfer papers. You have to sign them here. If you don't sign, I'm not leaving today. Then, she coquettishly added, husband, once you sign, I'll keep my promise and join you in bed with Jennifer. I was stunned, blood rushing to my head, because I was the Jennifer she mentioned. I couldn't take it anymore and made up an excuse to send my best friend's daughter out first. Then, I walked up behind the secretary and patted her shoulder. When she turned around, her flirtatious expression froze instantly. When Olivia Hart came in earlier, the classroom was nearly empty. I was sitting at the back, so she didn't notice me at all. Now, she was frozen in fear, unable to say a word, staring at me blankly. The next moment, I slapped Olivia Hart hard. You couldn't even afford college back then. It was me who paid your tuition. For 4 years of college, I had you intern at my company, guiding you step by step. The more I spoke, the colder my heart became. My nose tingled. But what about you? You secretly got involved with my husband, and even had a son. Do you think you deserve my kindness? Both of them. One was the person who had been by my side for 10 years, my partner. The other was someone I treated like a sister, a poor student I helped and mentored. They both betrayed me. They both betrayed my genuine love. Olivia Hart's face was red and swollen. She lowered her head, not daring to look at me. Their son, unaware of the situation, pushed me. Don't bully my mom, you nasty woman. I almost fell from the push. When I regained my balance, I looked coldly at the little boy. William Grant quickly shielded him, warily looking at me. You don't plan on hitting the child too, right? He's innocent. Seeing this, I felt even more pained. The child is innocent, but am I not innocent? You promised me we would be child-free forever. What does this make of you now? William Grant sighed, picked up the child, and turned to leave. I did promise you, but that was because I didn't want you to be hurt since you couldn't have children. But I'm a normal man. What's wrong with wanting to have a family? As I watched them walk away, the last shred of affection in my heart shattered. What William Grant still didn't know was that I was never the one who couldn't have children. He had been deceived. The illegitimate son wasn't even his blood. After sending my best friend's daughter home, I drove back to the marital home. I hid under the covers, and finally, the tears flowed. After crying for a long time, I opened my phone. I saw that Olivia Hart had updated her moments. It was a photo of the share transfer agreement being signed. The caption read, "A parent's love for their child is deep and far-reaching. I will fight for everything for my baby." I sneered, took a screenshot, and gave it a like. A while later, when I refreshed, she had deleted it. Then I realized, Olivia Hart had deliberately posted it to provoke me. She was eager to climb higher. Since that's the case, I decided to help them out. I contacted a lawyer to prepare the divorce papers and make sure William Grant left with nothing. Then, I called my dad. The head of the company needs to be changed. In terms of ability, I wasn't any less capable than William Grant. I only chose to step down to the second position to give him more confidence. Now that he's being disobedient, I had no reason to keep stepping back. Once he's out, I'll kick him out of the company. After hanging up, I still couldn't suppress the unease in my heart. I scrolled through William Grant and Olivia Hart's moments, looking for any clues. Suddenly, I found Olivia Hart's old Weibo account. I tried searching it and froze. Turns out, since we got married, she had been secretly involved with William Grant. Her private account was filled with proof of their affection. My husband promised me a happy home. I believe him. The photo was of an apartment just 3 kilometers from our home. William Grant had used our money to buy her a house. I clenched my fists and kept scrolling. My husband cooks for me, says outside food isn't healthy. I wonder if he cares about me or the baby in my belly? My husband finally figured it out. He took me on a business trip to the beach. A free honeymoon. Tears began to cloud my vision, and I turned off my phone. These sweet moments matched perfectly with the memories in my mind. While I was working hard to manage the company in New York City, William Grant was on a honeymoon with his mistress. After 6 months of marriage, he was already having a child with his mistress. The love I once prided myself on had long become a hollow shell. At that moment, the door was pushed open. William Grant was back. He looked at my red, swollen eyes with some pain. "I'm sorry, Jennifer. I know I hurt you. Don't cry. I'll make it right." I only found it laughable. "How are you going to make it right? Are you going to shove the child and his mother back into place?" "William Grant, stop acting. Do you want me to give you an award for being the good husband for 10 years? Upon hearing this, William Grant became agitated. "I cheated, but my love and kindness toward you weren't acting. You can't deny everything. I said I wanted Olivia Hart for the sake of having children. I really had no other thoughts toward her." Looking at his self-righteousness, I felt nauseous. "Let's divorce. I don't want to hear your excuses anymore." But William Grant quickly grabbed my hand. "Don't be impulsive, Jennifer. I promise I'll cut ties with Olivia Hart. I don't want a divorce. All you have to do is agree to let me adopt the child or have a baby with me. Then I'll completely end it with Olivia Hart." He then added with a calculated look. "But you're already an older woman. Pregnancy is too dangerous. It's safer to adopt the child." William Grant pretended to be looking out for me. I couldn't take it, and slapped him with all my strength. "Dream on. This marriage is over." The next moment, William Grant covered his face, staring at me in disbelief. "Jennifer, you actually hit me? I know I was wrong, but you can't be unreasonable. Why can't we talk things through?" I sneered and directly showed him Olivia Hart's private Weibo account. "William Grant, didn't you say you had no other intentions with Olivia Hart? That it was all for having children? What are these then? How much longer are you going to keep lying to me?" William Grant's face alternated between pale and green. He didn't expect I'd actually find the evidence. He gripped his fists tightly, eyes avoiding mine. Looking at his pitiful expression, all the warmth I had for him vanished. "If you insist on not getting a divorce, fine. Tomorrow, I'll print all of this out and plaster it all over the company so everyone can see your true colors." Hearing this, William Grant's face instantly turned pale. He cared most about what others thought. He stared at me for a long time, his chest rising and falling rapidly. Finally, he gritted his teeth and asked, "Jennifer White, do you really have to do this? Are you really going to do this to me, without leaving me any dignity?" I turned my face away, not bothering to look at his pretentious expression anymore. My tone was firm. "You're the one who took away my dignity first. The moment you betrayed me, all that was left between us was to tear our faces off. But we've been together for 10 years. At this, William Grant took a step forward. He tried to grab my hand, but I immediately pulled it away. His voice had a hint of pleading. "Jennifer White, don't be impulsive. Divorce won't be good for you either. You're not young anymore. Finding someone suitable won't be easy. You'll regret it in the future." I almost burst into laughter. I nearly cried from laughing. "William Grant, the biggest regret of my life is marrying you with my eyes closed and trusting you for 10 years. Only by staying with you would I really fall into endless misery." For a moment, William Grant became furious from shame. But he forced himself to swallow his anger. "Give me a few days. Let me think it over. Is that okay?" I knew he was stalling, but I couldn't be bothered to argue with him. My voice cold. 3 days at most. In 3 days I want to see the divorce papers signed." William Grant lowered his head and finally turned around, slamming the door behind him. The room was left with just me. Soon after, my phone rang. When I answered, Olivia Hart's voice came through. Jennifer, it's me. Get to the point, I said coldly. Jennifer, please don't fight with William anymore, okay? Olivia Hart's voice carried a hint of grievance. He just came to find me. He's in a really bad mood, and I have to comfort him. But you know, kids in elementary school are the most energetic. Please leave me some rest time. I sneered and didn't reply. Olivia Hart continued. Also, Jennifer, I really appreciate you sponsoring my college education, but please stop bringing it up. You helped me back then. Didn't you want to look like a kind person, to get praise from others? I'm trying to secure a better future for myself, so it's not wrong for me to be with William, right? Her views completely shocked me. I took a deep breath and suppressed my anger. Olivia Hart, can you have some self-respect? Jennifer, I'm just telling the truth. But Olivia Hart's tone became more and more smug. And don't try to fight for William anymore. He only cares about me and our son now. Even if you don't divorce, you'll never have his heart. Just let us be happy. Hearing this, I sneered. I already said I want a divorce. It's William Grant who doesn't agree. If you're so capable, go convince him to sign the papers. Stop wasting my time here. That's impossible, Olivia Hart immediately retorted. William loves me and our son so much. There's no way he'll refuse to divorce you. He's definitely just been forced into a corner by you. I couldn't be bothered to argue with her any longer, so I hung up the phone. Then, I sent the already prepared divorce papers to a delivery service. I told them to give them to Olivia Hart and included a note. As long as she gets William Grant to sign, I'll leave immediately and won't bother him again. I knew Olivia Hart was eager to climb the ranks. She would definitely push William Grant to sign the papers. But I didn't expect that the very next morning, the delivery service brought back the signed divorce papers. Looking at William Grant's familiar handwriting, I wasn't as relieved as I had imagined. Instead, I felt a sense of confusion. I never expected that he would follow Olivia Hart's words so easily. For Olivia Hart, he was willing to give up 10 years of marriage without hesitation. In the afternoon, William Grant returned home. His face showed a trace of exhaustion and complexity. He looked at me and said, I signed the divorce papers. Jennifer, I really didn't have a choice. Our son said if I don't divorce you, he'll commit suicide. I can't live without my child. Can you understand? But I didn't say anything, just stared at him. William Grant thought I was still angry and added, I know I've wronged you, so I agree to leave with nothing. The house and savings are all yours. We'll still be friends, and we'll work well together at the company, okay? I finally looked up at him, a cold smile on my lips. William Grant, do you really think you'll still be able to enter the company? Hearing this, William Grant froze. The exhaustion and complexity on his face was immediately replaced by confusion. What do you mean? The company is my blood, sweat, and tears. Why can't I go in? Jennifer White, I suggest you keep work and personal life separate. Don't threaten me with the company. But as soon as he finished speaking, my phone rang. The assistant's anxious voice came through the line. Mr. G.U., something's wrong. The shareholders just held an emergency meeting. They all agreed. You and your whole department are fired? William Grant stood frozen. It took him a full half-minute to react. How could this happen? Impossible. Have you been bribed? Then he yelled at the phone. Don't forget who promoted you. If you keep spreading lies, I'll have you fired. But I just waited for him to hang up and then sneered. He wasn't lying. You really were fired. Because I'm the one who fired you. From now on, you have nothing to do with the company. William Grant's fingers turned white, his eyes bloodshot. How is that possible? I'm the chairman of the company. Who are you to fire me? You have no right. He screamed, like a beast driven into a corner. But as soon as he spoke, he suddenly seemed to remember something, and his gaze grew cold. Did you bribe the shareholders? To get revenge on me? You really went through all this effort? Jennifer White, how could you be so malicious? But I couldn't help but laugh. I stepped closer to him, my eyes cold. My malice doesn't even come close to your cruelty, William Grant. When you betrayed me, did you ever think of how malicious you were? Then, I looked down at him, my lips curling into a mocking smile. I just want to know, now that you've been left penniless and fired, can your so-called true love with Olivia Hart withstand the test? You. William Grant was so furious at my words. He suddenly reached out and grabbed my neck. His grip was so strong it nearly crushed my bones. I order you, call the shareholders now. Make them cancel their decision, or I'll die with you. His face twisted with anger, his eyes filled with madness. I was struggling to breathe, but I felt no fear. Instead, I used all my strength to grab the nearby vase and smashed it hard over his head. With a loud bang, the vase shattered. William Grant let out a muffled groan, his eyes losing focus. His hands weakly loosened, and he collapsed unconscious. I held my neck, coughing violently. Looking at the unconscious William Grant on the floor, there was no emotion in my eyes. I called the bodyguard. Take him to the hospital and don't let him bother me again. After hanging up, I walked into the bedroom and started packing William Grant's things. I stuffed all of his luggage into a suitcase. Then I called for a courier to send it directly to the hospital. I sent a message. I've returned everything to you. From now on we owe each other nothing. Don't come disturb my life again. After doing all of this, I looked at the empty room and finally let out a sigh of relief. It felt like a huge weight had been lifted. At the hospital, when William Grant woke up, his head was splitting with pain. But when he opened his eyes, he saw only Olivia Hart sitting by his bed, crying uncontrollably. William, you're finally awake. Olivia Hart threw herself at the bed, grabbing his hand, tears and snot pouring down. That Jennifer White is too much. She hit you like this and got us both fired. I lost my job, and you lost your position as chairman. What are we going to do now? You need to get back at her. This can't just go unpunished. William Grant rubbed his aching forehead, his heart full of anger and frustration. He struggled to sit up, took out his phone, and tried to call me. But after dialing again and again, the phone just kept ringing with a cold busy signal. Because I had already blocked him. This damn woman. William Grant slammed his fist against the bedpost in anger. Then he immediately called his assistant. Notify all the shareholders immediately. We need to hold another emergency meeting tomorrow. I haven't done anything wrong. They don't have the right to fire me. But the assistant on the other end stammered. Mr. G.U. You should check the trending topics first. William Grant felt a strong sense of unease. He immediately opened Weibo. What came into view was a series of trending topics about him cheating with his secretary. At the end, there was a bright red, explosive, tag. He clicked on the topic, and it was filled with screenshots from Olivia Hart's private Weibo account. There was even an audio clip of Olivia Hart asking for shares at the parent-teacher meeting. The evidence was overwhelming and clear. The comments from netizens flooded in like a tidal wave, full of insults. Oh my God, William Grant is the worst. He hid his mistress from his wife, and even had a kid. What's even worse is that he used joint assets to buy shares for the illegitimate child. Totally shattered my worldview. Jennifer White is so tragic. She helped a poor student, and now that student is stealing her husband. William Grant stared at those scathing words and photos. It felt like his blood froze in an instant. His limbs went cold, and his vision blurred. His proud reputation and carefully crafted image had collapsed in an instant. No way, he muttered to himself, his eyes hollow, as if all his strength had been drained. Then Olivia Hart also saw the trending topic and screamed. How could this happen? Who posted all this? It must have been Jennifer White. That bitch. I'm going to kill her, she screamed hysterically, acting like a madwoman. At this moment, William Grant's attention was suddenly caught by a comment. Wait, does anyone else think that Olivia Hart's son doesn't look like William Grant at all? Especially the eyes and nose. He doesn't take after him at all. Is this kid's photo from the wrong person? This comment struck William Grant like a thunderclap in his mind. He suddenly turned to Olivia Hart, as if seeing her for the first time. Is the son really mine? Olivia Hart's crying stopped instantly. She avoided his gaze, not daring to look him in the eye. William, why would you ask that? It's definitely Jennifer White, that bitch. She's trying to stir things up online to ruin our relationship. Don't believe her lies. Is that so? William Grant's eyes grew colder, suspicion taking root in his heart. But the netizens are right. He doesn't look anything like me. I'm going to do a paternity test. His tone was firm, with no room for negotiation. No, absolutely not. Olivia Hart immediately jumped up in panic. She grabbed his arm desperately, throwing a tantrum. William Grant, have you lost your mind? That's your biological son. How could you doubt he's yours? I won't agree. I won't let you insult us like this. The more she tried to stop him, the stronger his doubts grew. He shoved Olivia Hart aside, his voice cold. The more you do this, the more I need to find out the truth. Ignoring Olivia Hart's cries and pleas, William Grant was determined. He dragged the child to the paternity test center. Days passed as they waited for the result. A few days later, the paternity test report came out. When William Grant saw the words, "No biological relationship between father and son," on the report, his world went black, and he nearly collapsed. The report in his hands felt like it weighed 1,000 pounds. suffocating him. It turned out the son he had been desperately trying to protect wasn't even his biological child. For this son, he had betrayed his 10-year marriage and abandoned his career of many years. He left penniless, his reputation ruined. But in the end, he had been raising someone else's child for 10 years. Ah! William Grant let out a desperate scream. Like a madman, he lunged at Olivia Hart. His hands grabbed her neck tightly. You lied to me. You lied to me. I'm going to kill you. Olivia Hart's face turned purple from the strangulation, her survival instinct making her struggle desperately. Finally, she could only cry out, confessing, "It's because you can't have children. I had no choice. I saw your medical report from years ago. You have no fertility. I've been with you all these years, wanting a child. Is that wrong? This child is mine and your driver's. I was planning to keep it a secret from you, but I never expected it would end up like this." William Grant froze, his hands loosening around Olivia Hart's neck. He staggered back, collapsing onto the floor. His mind went blank, only Olivia Hart's words echoing in his ears. He couldn't have children? The person the doctor said couldn't have children was him? Jennifer White never exposed it. She had been protecting his dignity? And yet, because of this ridiculous misunderstanding, he betrayed the woman who truly loved him, and this was the result. Endless regret flooded over him like a tidal wave. He thought of Jennifer White's kindness, their 10 years together. Then he remembered the hurt he caused her, and his heart ached as if it was being torn apart. William Grant crazily got up. He wanted to go find Jennifer White, to apologize, to win her back. Even if it meant being scolded or hit, he would accept it. Then he pushed Olivia Hart aside, his eyes cold. You and this child have nothing to do with me. He then contacted the welfare center. Ignoring Olivia Hart's desperate pleas, he forcefully sent the child, who had no blood relation to him, to the center. Watching the child being taken away, Olivia Hart collapsed to the floor, crying hysterically. But William Grant felt no attachment. He turned to Olivia Hart, coldly laughing. Don't worry, after I deal with the little bastard, I'll send you to the mental hospital too. Anyone who deceived him would not have a good end. After everything was done, William Grant's mind was filled with one thought. He had to find Jennifer White, and beg for her forgiveness. On the other hand, I had already begun a new life. After cleaning up William Grant's mess, I threw myself into the company's work. My father had already transferred the largest shareholder rights to me. I immediately held a high-level meeting, dismantling William Grant's original department structure. I merged the core business with the newly established business department. I promoted several capable people who had always been suppressed by William Grant. Until the HR department submitted a new batch of interviewees, one familiar name caught my eye. It was actually my high school classmate, Chi Chin. On the day of the interview, I froze when I saw the man walking in. He was wearing a well-tailored suit, no longer the naive boy from high school. He had grown into a more mature and composed man. But that face, it was the same boy who used to sneak glances at me from the back door of the classroom. Long time no see, Jennifer White. He spoke first, a gentle smile on his lips. I snapped out of it, tapping my fingers on the table. I didn't expect it to be you. What made you suddenly come back to develop here? I heard you took over the company, so I wanted to come help you out. His eyes were sincere. You should have known my feelings back in high school, but now I just want to help you make the company better. As a friend and a subordinate, the past youthful feelings had long been let go, and I extended my hand. Welcome aboard, Director Chi. Chi Chin's efficiency was incredibly high. He quickly got the merged departments in order. What's more, he lived in the neighborhood next to mine. Every morning, he would wait for me downstairs. He would also drive me to and from work. After work, we often stayed in the office discussing projects until late at night. He always managed to catch the flaws in my plans. And he would patiently listen to me vent about my past grievances. Unknowingly, he had become the person I trusted the most. Our relationship gradually grew warmer with each passing day. Soon, it was my birthday. After finishing my work, I turned around and saw Chi Chin standing at the office door, holding a bouquet of white roses. He was holding a simple cake box in his hand. Happy birthday. He nervously scratched his head. I made the cake myself. It's my first time, so it might look a little ugly. Hope you don't mind. When I opened the cake box, the cream flowers were crooked. It wasn't exactly exquisite, but it was the first homemade cake I had ever received in my life. All the emotions I had been holding back suddenly surged. I picked up a fork and took a bite. The sweet but not too sweet taste melted on my tongue. Tears started falling uncontrollably. Chi Chin quickly grabbed a tissue and handed it to me. His fingers gently wiped the tears from my face. His actions were so tender. Don't cry. His voice was deep. From now on, I will spend every birthday with you, making you a cake for the rest of our lives. After saying this, he leaned down and placed a gentle kiss on my forehead. I looked up and met his eyes, full of tenderness. The ice in my heart melted in an instant. I nodded softly, as if to respond to his feelings. Our relationship naturally developed. There was no grand confession, but there was warmth that flowed steadily. But this peace was soon shattered by William Grant. The next morning, as Chi Chin and I walked to the company entrance, we saw a disheveled figure crouching on the steps. His hair was messy, and he had a stubble-covered face. His clothes were stained and dirty. He had lost the energy and confidence he once had. After a long moment, I recognized the person as William Grant. As soon as he saw me, William Grant stumbled to his feet. He rushed toward me and grabbed my wrist tightly. Jennifer, I know I was wrong. I really know I was wrong. I've seen Olivia Hart for what she really is. The child isn't mine. I've taken care of them both. Then he spoke quickly, his eyes full of pleading. Jennifer, please give me another chance. I'm willing to work as a janitor at the company, just to stay by your side and make up for my mistakes. But I was unmoved. I even found it somewhat laughable. It turns out that William Grant and Olivia Hart's relationship was just as fragile. It was so easily broken. Just as he was about to touch me, Chi Chin stepped forward, standing between us to protect me. He forcefully pulled William Grant's hand away, his voice cold. Mr. G.U., please show some respect. Stay away from her. I looked at William Grant, and there was no emotion in my heart. Only endless coldness. William Grant, we're already done. I won't forgive you, and I can't give you another chance. After saying this, I grabbed Chi Chin's hand and started to walk inside. But William Grant wouldn't let go, clinging to my leg and kneeling on the ground. Tears and snot streamed down his face. Jennifer, I know I've been an idiot. I'm not even human, but I really love you. Please pity me. Give me another chance, okay? His actions attracted the attention of passers-by. Their pointing and murmuring made me even more disgusted. Chi Chin tried to pull him away. But I stopped him, looking at William Grant coldly. William Grant, this act of yours only makes me more disgusted. Our relationship has long ended. If you keep pestering me, you'll only humiliate yourself. I had intended to give him one last bit of dignity, but he seemed to not hear me. He continued to kneel, muttering, I was wrong, and, forgive me. After a long standoff, perhaps the days of running around in emotional turmoil had taken a toll. William Grant suddenly blacked out and collapsed onto the ground. I frowned but finally called the security to contact the hospital. They sent him there. At the hospital, when William Grant woke up, there was no one beside him. He wouldn't give up and came to the company to find me. But when he saw my cold expression, he finally understood. He had truly lost me. The woman he had deceived and betrayed would never turn back. A few days later, I received a call from the hospital. The doctor said William Grant had been diagnosed with late-stage stomach cancer. His time was short, and they hoped I could visit him for the last time. Out of respect for our 10 years of marriage, I eventually went. In the hospital room, William Grant had become so thin, it was like he was just bones. His eyes were empty, staring at the ceiling. When he saw me walk in, he weakly smiled. Jennifer, you came. I knew you had a soft heart, but I didn't speak, just quietly stood at the side of his bed. I know, whatever I say now is too late. He coughed a few times, his voice hoarse. My biggest regret in life is not cherishing you. If there's a next life, I'll be a good person and love you properly. I remained silent, no emotions stirring in my heart. In the next life, let's not meet again. After a while, I turned around and left without a second glance. I didn't see William Grant's tears falling behind me. That night, I received the news from the hospital. William Grant had pulled out his IV and committed suicide. At that time, I was celebrating the company's successful bid for a major project. At the celebration, Chi Chin held my hand tightly, his eyes filled with pride and affection. When I heard the news of William Grant's death, I simply nodded. There was no sadness, no regret. The painful past, filled with betrayal, finally came to an end with his departure. I then turned to Chi Chin and smiled with relief. From now on, we'll live a good life. Chi Chin nodded firmly, pulling me into his embrace. Yes, we'll live well, forever. Sunlight streamed through the window, illuminating our tightly held hands. It also illuminated my brand new life. The pain had long become the past. In the future, I would only continue to get better.